She didn't look at me when she said it. She didn't even hesitate, just lifted the small velvet box with 2 fingers as if it were contaminated and dropped it straight into the kitchen trash can. The lid popped open on the way down, the chain spilling out like a severed nerve. "I don't wear cheap costume junk," she murmured. "I deserve real designer pieces." Her tone wasn't angry. It was worse. Cold. Practiced. Like she'd rehearsed it. I stood there, hands still behind my back, the second half of my planned anniversary speech drying out on my tongue. The room suddenly felt too bright, too staged, like a set someone forgot to clean after shooting. She walked away humming. I bent down, retrieved the necklace gently, and closed the box. "Fair enough," I said, 2 words that tasted like metal. She didn't hear the quiet click of the box, or didn't care. But hours later, long after she left to clear her head, she would see the authenticated receipt I placed neatly on the counter. The one detailing the $5,000 vintage Cartier Trinity necklace, insured, traced, certified. She'd see the date of purchase, 3 weeks before our anniversary. 3 weeks before she started acting strange, before the late nights, the mysterious phone calls, before her sudden dislike for anything I gave her, no matter how thoughtful. I knew something was off, but I didn't know how deep it went. Not yet. Not until she threw away my gift with the same ease she'd thrown away everything else. It didn't start with the necklace. It started with silence. A different kind. Not the comfortable type 2 people share when they know each other's breathing patterns. No, this was a silence with edges, one that cut. She'd flinch when her phone buzzed, turn her body slightly away, smile, too fast, too wide, too bright, like a flashlight in a dark room, hiding rather than illuminating. "Just work stuff," she'd say. Except the notifications came at midnight and 3 a.m., and always with the same soft smile she never used on me anymore. I tried to ignore it. People change, relationships shift, but this wasn't drifting. It was detachment, surgical, intentional. The anniversary was my attempt to bridge the distance, a gesture, a quiet reminder of who we were before the shadows settled in. But when she threw the necklace away, not after looking, not after questioning, just discarded it, something clicked. Not anger, not hurt, just clarity. You don't treat a gift like that unless you're already gone, emotionally, physically, or both. And she was gone. I just didn't know where or with whom, yet. For the rest of the day, she was oddly buoyant, almost cheerful. She texted me selfies from a cafe, a dressing room, a park bench. Her eyes worth smiling in any of them. And in each reflection, blurred behind her, was the same silhouette, tall, broad-shouldered, just far enough away that she could claim coincidence. But I've always been good at patterns, better at recognizing lies. By the time she returned home that evening, I had already begun the quiet reconstruction of her digital footprints, piecing together the story she didn't realize she'd been writing in plain sight. The receipt on the counter wasn't revenge. It was the first test, and I needed to see how she reacted to truth before I confronted her with the rest of it. Investigating someone you love feels like peeling your own skin. But detachment is a skill, and I'd had practice. First came the phone bills. Not hers, those were locks down, but mine. Cross-referencing timestamps when she borrowed my charger, my hotspot, my device, just for a minute. Patterns emerged. An unknown number saved under a woman's name I'd never heard her mention. Then came the location logs. She thought she'd disabled them. She hadn't. Work wasn't in the city that night, or the night before, or the night she claimed she was taking time to think. No, she was 40 minutes away at a lakeside rental cabin, booked under his name. I recognized it from the blurred reflection behind her in the selfies. But the final detail was the simplest. Emails. A single shared shopping account we'd created months ago. She forgot to log out on the iPad. A careless slip. I opened the order history with the same calm I used to open my morning coffee. There it was. A men's bracelet. Engraved. To us. To everything we survived. Ordered 2 weeks before our anniversary. Delivered to the lakeside cabin. I didn't react. Not externally. Internally, something settled, like dust returning to the ground after a quiet explosion. Every step I took afterward was deliberate, measured. I didn't confront her, didn't storm, didn't accuse. I let her walk around the house humming, pretending she wasn't drowning in secrets. I watched her glance at the counter, at the receipt, at the necklace she'd believed worthless. Her breath hitched. She tried to mask it. Failed. But I said nothing. Let the guilt simmer on low heat. Let the truth stretch thin under her skin. Meanwhile, the full report, my report, waited quietly in the drawer beside me. Printed, highlighted, chronological, undeniable. I wasn't going to ask her why. People lie when you ask why. I was going to show her what I knew, and then simply leave. The evidence lay between us on the kitchen table. Paper, photos, timestamps, coordinates. Her eyes scanned each page like she was watching her own life unravel frame by frame. This isn't, she stuttered, voice cracking. I remained seated, calm, detached. Look closely, I said. You'll recognize the angles. She flipped to the next page, a screenshot of her reflection in the cafe window, the tall figure blurred behind her, the one she thought she'd hidden. Her hand shook. Another page, the cabin receipt. Another, the engraving. Another, her message to him. I think I'll end things after the anniversary. He'll be fine. She covered her mouth. I didn't blink. When were you planning to tell me? I asked quietly. Silence. Her face collapsed in on itself. Fear, shame, panic, swirling like storm water circling a drain. But I felt nothing, just the faint echo of relief. Truth has weight, and mine had finally settled. I stood, picked up the velvet box, and opened it. The necklace glowed under the kitchen lights, soft, warm, undeniably real. You threw this away, I said, because you believed it was cheap. She reached for it instinctively. I pulled it back. No, I said, you don't get to touch what you don't value. Her face broke, cracked down the center. I didn't know, she whispered. I didn't. You never looked, I corrected. I placed the necklace back in the box, closed it, and slid it into my coat pocket. She reached for my arm. I stepped away. This wasn't about the gift, I continued. It was about everything you thought I didn't see. She shook her head, sobbing now, begging for a chance to explain. But explanations are just softer lies. I picked up the stack of evidence, tapped it into a neat pile, and set it gently in front of her. This is yours, I said. Every choice, every secret, every lie. Her knees buckled as she lowered herself into a chair, face buried in her hands. I walked to the door, didn't slam it, didn't raise my voice. I just left the way she left me, silently. I didn't look back as I stepped into the evening air. Cold, clean, honest. The necklace felt heavier in my pocket now, not because of cost, but clarity. She threw it away because she believed it had no value, just like she believed I had none. But value isn't determined by perception. It's revealed by truth. And now she had all of it. I wasn't walking away from her. I was walking back to myself. By the time she realizes what she lost, what she misjudged, what she destroyed, I'll be too far away to hear her scream. And that's the real ending. Not rage, not triumph, just distance. And the quiet satisfaction of knowing that the last lie she told was to herself.